Hi everybody, it's Hank Linderman. I hope we're live. I've just had some problems with my internet here in Falls of Rough. That's a whole other issue we'll talk about at some point, which is broadband for rural America. 30% of rural America doesn't have reliable, robust broadband, and that's inexcusable. And we'll need to be talking about that in the future. So I'm either recording or I'm actually making it there. So if you're getting me, send me a comment or something. Our titles today are NoPE, UV light, and trusting the numbers. And by the way, you're probably hearing my neighbors out mowing his lawn. There have been some boats coming by, but when he should be finished very quickly, and when that happens, you should be able to hear some birds. It's actually a beautiful day out, and the weather is nice. The water level has gone down a little bit. We've seen some fishermen out today. Still a little chilly, but it's very pleasant. So I wanted to tell you about something. This is before the coronavirus had gotten to the point where we were all having to hide from each other. And I was traveling a bit and was on airplanes and would order a cup of coffee, and the cup of coffee would come and it'd have to travel to 50 feet from where the cabin crew would be serving us our coffee, and it would come back and have a plastic top on it and have a little plastic stirrer. And it made me realize there's so many times we are unaware of just the amount of plastic we are using, and obviously it's a big problem. There's apparently more plastic in the oceans than there is on the surface of the earth, and we're going to have to clean that up at some point. So I was trying to come up with a way of not wanting to bother the person who's kind enough to bring me a cup of coffee. I didn't want to bug them about, hey, I didn't want to lecture them about plastic, but I wanted to find some way to signal that, hey, if you can skip the plastic, I'd appreciate it. And I came up with this idea for NoPE, which means no plastics in my environment. And I discussed it with someone who was a food server in a restaurant at Louisville's airport, and she came up with the idea of making it that the O would have a line through it for the no sign. So here's the button that we ordered before the coronavirus got completely out of hand. It's probably going to be backwards. Are we on the wrong? Yeah, you can't see it. I'm going to have to get a mirror, I guess, to hold it. Anyway, when you wear this button, the idea is that when you go to a coffee shop, that they'd be able to say, oh, ceramic or paper cup, but no plastic. Or that if you're on an airplane, they would know, please don't give me a plastic cup filled with ice and my Coke, just give me my Coke in the aluminum can. And as you're shopping, I'm going shopping once a week on senior morning at Walmart in Litchfield. And when I buy things, Cokes or things like that, I buy them in aluminum because aluminum can be recycled indefinitely. So I'm encouraging you all to think about that. But we can't really worry about that now because we're in the middle of this danged pandemic, which is affecting all of us across the world. And one story I saw, and it's posted there on my page, we've been hearing that you can decontaminate with UV light, and there's some question about whether it would be okay to use UV light maybe on us. So I've posted an article from the BBC, and the answer is very simple. No, we can't do that. It's very dangerous. The type of UV light that works to kill the virus will also cause us some serious damage. So please be sure you don't play around with UV light. It's fine to go out for a walk, that's good, and that's probably not going to kill the virus. It's good to get out in nature, but don't think that we're going to be able to use UV light. The final thing I'm going to talk about today is trusting the numbers. We cannot yet trust the numbers, and there are a lot of reasons for this. We don't have a fast test. We don't have nearly enough testing yet here in the United States, and in fact worldwide it's an issue. There are also the issues of sometimes governments don't want to be accurate. There's an accusation out there that the Chinese are being inaccurate about their numbers. Their numbers are dropping right now, but there's also some distrust for that. And I don't want to get on one side of that or the other, but we can look at our own numbers. I'm looking at a website called, let's see, this is called worldometers.info, and I've posted it a couple of times. So today what it's showing us is in the United States we have 240,000 total cases and 25,341 new ones. There's about 3 hours and change left in the day. They count the day from Greenwich Mean Time, and so it's now something like 8:40 or 8:35 in Greenwich. So I think we're going to beat yesterday's total, which was 26,473 new cases and 215,000 overall. We're definitely going to hit that. Yesterday we hit a new high of daily deaths over 1,000. We may beat that, but even these numbers we have to have some skepticism about. We're not testing everyone. If you call the hospital right now and tell them, I'm not feeling well, I've got a fever and a cough and I'm having trouble breathing, they will tell you to hold off until your fever gets to a certain point. I'm speaking to people who are healthcare workers, and some of them are not feeling so well, and until they get really sick, they're not able to get a test, and the test is not fast enough. Additionally, there's limits in the speed of reporting, so we're all playing catch up. I posted another link to a site called MathBabe, and this is a woman named Kathy O'Neill, and she digs into some of the numbers. She believes we may be off by a factor of 10, so that when we see 250,000 people, it may actually be 2.5 million people here in the United States. All of this is to say that when you see a change in the numbers and it looks like, oh, it's dropped, give it some time. We really need to be sure. One of the biggest dangers we're going to face is when the numbers do start to drop. By the way, in the United States, or at least in New York, that's projected to be something like 2 weeks from now. We're hoping that April 15th, that numbers will start to drop then. That people will think, well, great, come June we can go out, and this summer we're going to have a great summer. We have the potential of a relapse, so we've really got to be careful that we only have to do this once. Otherwise, we will be dealing with this for a number of years. There's other reasons we can't trust the numbers. Apparently in Italy, one story I've heard recently is that in nursing homes, they're not even reporting the numbers, because when someone dies in a nursing home, it could be someone who's suffering from any number of other serious diseases if they're older and they're in a nursing home. And if they aren't able to test why someone passed away, how do you count that death? You can't really count it as coronavirus necessarily. Terrible deaths yesterday. Adam Schlesinger from the group Fountains of Wayne. Adam was a very talented songwriter. He wrote the song That Thing You Do, and he also wrote, I'm trying to think of the Fountains of Wayne songs. Hackensack is a great one, and of course Stacy's Mom. Adam was 52 years old. I'm hearing stories of young people now getting sick. I've heard a story of a very young child getting sick and dying. So more caution. It's okay to be more careful than you think you need to be. Heard another story about being within 6 feet of someone. The amount of virus that's around you, the strength of the numbers of the virus when you're exposed to it can make a difference. If there's only a few, you're less likely to get affected by it. And they're saying that if you're going to be within 6 feet of someone, make it no longer than 6 seconds. But if you're going to sit next to someone on an airplane or a train or public transportation for an hour, you see the boat going by? I guess you can hear it. Hope it's not too loud. I'm going to be working on that. I've got some solutions for that, hopefully. Anyway, the longer you're exposed makes a difference too, and if you're in a confined space. So you don't have to freak out when you're shopping and you have to pass closer than 6 feet from someone. You can pass by them, and as long as it's within a brief period of time. Beginning yesterday, if you've been exposed or if you have a temperature of 100.4 with other symptoms, you will be tested. Thanks, Gayleen. I'm going to read more of this. As a nurse, I don't see this resolving to the point of lifting most restrictions by summer, especially with a resurgence projected for fall. Yeah, we're in a worst case scenario right now, and we need to treat it that way. We need to treat this very, very seriously. I also want to say to you, I got an email from a friend that was a little bit disturbing, and it came from some friends of theirs, and it was someone well educated, and the person was over 75 and affluent and intelligent, and it was a very conspiratorial letter. I don't want to really tell you much about it because I don't want to give it any bandwidth, but there are people out there that are pushing very particular conspiracy theories. They use all sorts of analogies: straw man, an appeal to authority that's not really there, misrepresentation, misleading, cherry picking, all those kinds of things. In fact, I'll post a link to something that will help you figure out how to tell if someone is being dishonest in their argument, and maybe I'll post that right now. I guess I better find it first. Anyway, thank you all for being here. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm really enjoying doing these. Thank you all so much for listening. Send me questions. I am going to be working on getting additional people to be able to contribute. And I think there's even a possibility of doing this as a big Zoom meeting if any of you all would like to be part of it. So thank you all so much. Thanks for being here. Everybody keep the faith. Keep your good mood up. Our good moods can be just as infectious as the virus. By helping other people and by projecting a good image and a good attitude towards other people, we can make this easier. This is all going to end. We're in for a bit of a fight, but it is going to end. We're all going to be, or most of us will be coming out of the other side of this. So let's put our best face on it and let's do what we need to do. All right, you all have a great day, and thank you so much. Take care.